Welcome back to The Pulse, the weekly gaming reset where we dig through the patch notes of the entire industry. This week we got Battlefield 6 destruction mechanics, Call of Duty skin redesigns, Randy Pitchford telling gamers to stop being 4K stubborn, Nintendo winning a huge lawsuit, and even the EU stepping into protected digital ownership. Let's plug in. Over in the land of chaos and explosion, Battlefield 6 devs confirmed that both the multiplayer and Battle Royale modes will share the same destruction systems. But before you get carried away, not everything is destructible. Map designs intentionally preserve certain strategic elements, so you will be able to blow holes in walls and topple buildings, but you can't level the entire map. Dev says it's about balance. Destruction should be fun, but it also needs to be tactical. Too much chaos and you're left with a giant flat area. And yeah, it can even cause performance drops if you go too wild. The idea is to make you think, do I knock down this tower or do I keep it for cover? Battlefield 6 isn't just about smashing things, it's about smashing smart. Over in Call of Duty land, the Vault Edition cosmetics for Black Ops 7 just got a makeover, and fans are absolutely roasting the design. Characters like Karma, Harper, and Ted look, well, goofy, and not in a fun way. The backlash was so strong, Activision quietly rolled the reworks, toning down the exaggerated looks and making them look more like their fan expectations. Now they're just skins. They don't break gameplay, but in a game that's heavily driven by its cosmetics, visuals matter. It's another example of how live service games live and die on community feedback. Fans just don't want balanced patches, they also want aesthetics to match the tone of the game. And Activision's responding this quickly sets a precedent. If the visuals don't land, expect pushback loud enough to trigger a redesign. Gearbox boss Randy Pitchford told players not to be, quote, 4K stubborn when it comes to Borderlands 4. His advice, drop it down to 1440p and turn on DLSS for a smoother gameplay. And sure, he's right. The benchmark showed that the performance is way stable at 1440p, but here's the real issue. This is yet another example of studios launching a game that isn't fully optimized for how people actually want to play. This isn't 2015, it's 2025. A huge chunk of gamers have 4K displays. Telling them to settle for less feels like a miss in planning. It's not just curbing player expectations. Instead of framing it as visual snobbery, maybe it's worth recognizing that there's a subset of fans who want to enjoy the game at the best quality for their setup. And those players shouldn't feel punished for investing in higher end gear. Pitchford did say the patches and enhancements are on the way, which is good, but bigger picture here is developers need more foresight. 4K isn't just some niche anymore, it's growing, it's standard. Launching without full optimization is like putting out a sports car that sputters in 6th gear. It works, but it's not what you bought it for. For now, 1440p might be the sweet spot, but fans are making it clear. When they shell out for Borderlands, they want the whole package, not a compromise. Nintendo just won another big one in court. They successfully sued Ryan Michael Daly, the operator of a site called Modded Hardware, for selling MIG switch cards, mod chips, and other devices that bypass Nintendo's protections and enables piracy. The court ordered Daly to pay $2 million to Nintendo in damages. On top of that, a permanent injunction was issued, banning him from selling, promoting, or even possessing any hardware or software that could be used to crack Nintendo's consoles. Nintendo is also taking control of his website, and Daly has to hand over the remaining modding inventory. This isn't just about money, it's precedent. Nintendo has shown once again that if you tinker with their ecosystem and make piracy easier, they'll take you to court, they'll win, and then they'll shut your operation down. And this isn't an isolated case. Remember Gary Bowser? He was a part of a hacking group selling Switch exploits, and Nintendo not only won a judgment of nearly $10 million, but Bowser also served prison time before being released this year. He's now literally paying Nintendo part of his wages for the rest of his life. So what's the takeaway? Whether it's $2 million from Daly or $10 million from Bowser, Nintendo has made this thing absolutely clear. If you're going to come for their hardware, they're going to bury you in court. To some, it looks like overreach. To Nintendo, it's just business, and that's their way of making sure that the Switch 2 launch isn't undermined before it starts. The Stop Killing Games initiative just hit a massive milestone. Around 97% of its petition signatures were validated, which means that it's cleared the threshold for a European Commission legislative review. Translation, we're probably about to see an official hearing about game preservation laws. The movement started as a protest against forced shutdowns of online titles and the fact that players really don't have a say when the servers go dark. And it's not just about nostalgia, it's about the consumer rights and digital ownership. Imagine buying a game only to see it vanish from orbit because somebody in a boardroom decided it wasn't profitable anymore. If this hearing goes forward, it could set precedents in Europe about how long companies are obligated to keep a game alive, even if they pull support. Grassroots activism in gaming rarely hit this level, and it shows players are ready to fight for preservation. Finally, let's zoom out and talk about the industry itself. According to Newzoo, the global game market is projected at $188.8 billion for 2025, up 3.4%. No surprise here, mobile gaming continues to dominate with over $103 billion in revenue, which is roughly 55% of the market. But growth in mature markets like North America and Europe has slowed, meaning mobile is becoming more about keeping existing players engaged rather than chasing massive new user bases. On the PC side, things are steady but evolving. Cloud gaming is the fastest growing slice of the pie, with revenue expected to top $8 billion this year alone. Cloud is still small in comparison to traditional PC and console sales, but rapid growth shows players are warming up to the idea of streaming big budget games instead of downloading 100 gigs to their hard drives. There are now 3.32 billion active gamers worldwide, which means gaming is basically one of the most universal hobbies on the planet. For context, nearly half the entire human population is picking up a controller, phone, or a mouse. Looking ahead, forecasts predict that the market could hit $206.5 billion by 2028, driven by live service models, cross-platform launches, and new monetization formats like battle passes, cosmetics, and subscription. And with AI and procedural tools entering development pipelines, we could see studios cutting costs and scaling content faster than ever. So what does this all mean? Even in a year with lawsuits, delays, controversies, the industry as a whole is still expanding. Games aren't just a form of entertainment anymore, they're a cornerstone of a global culture and one of the strongest growth sectors in media. If you're waiting for a sign that gaming isn't slowing down, this is it. And that's your pulse for the week. From Battlefield reminding us that everything should blow up, or Call of Duty skins getting a glow up, or Randy Pitchford's 1440p reality check, Nintendo throwing down lawsuits, and even the EU stepping in. It's been packed. Which story stood out to you the most? Was it the game preservation fight in Europe, or maybe the massive market numbers showing just how fast gaming is growing? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and as always, plug in, catch up, and game on.